Thank you all. Since its inception in 2005, MIMA Institute of Management has been a center of management excellence, nurturing talent pool with a sense of responsibility and achievement orientation. Promoted by Dr. Pradeep Bavdekar, ex-MD of Midcon Consulting and Engineering Services Limited. From the academic year 2025, MIMA shall be completing its journey of 20 years and entering in the 21st year. In our social language, let me call MIMA coming of age. MIMA, over a period of time, has carved a niche for itself in varied areas of agribusiness management, pharmaceutical management, as well as business administration. Today, MIMA boasts of 2,600 plus alumni spread over the world working on highly rewarding career tracks. You would be shortly joining them. Please remain active on our Alma Shine portal to share your success stories as well as to know about the success stories of your seniors. We are emerging as an integrated campus with hostel facilities for 112 girls and boys each in close proximity of our institute. The academic and residential infrastructure is state of the art, providing excellent education to the coming graduates. Today, we all have gathered over here to celebrate the success of our young, ambitious and bright students. To bless these students, we are honored to have such business leaders. The theme of this convocation ceremony is Udaan, which symbolizes boundless potential and limitless aspirations. This movement marks not just culmination of years of hard work, determination, learning, but a beginning of a soaring career filled with opportunities to lead, innovate, and make a lasting impact. Like a bird taking flight, you are now equipped with wings of knowledge, experience, ready to navigate the ever-changing skies of business world with confidence as well as a purpose. We want our students to create a mark in the corporate world. At the same time, we wish that our students contribute to society by inculcating the virtue of value-based leadership. Now, I call upon our BA student, Amber Gupta, to take over the dais. Thank you.
Today, we are fortunate to have Mr. Arun Raste, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, NCDEX as a chief guest, Mr. Rahul Pagale, CHRO, Force Motors Limited as our guest of honor, and Mr. Prasanna Deshpande, Director, Chaitanya Group of Industries as a keynote speaker. I now request our Group Director, Dr. Pradeep Bavdekar, to felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Arun Raste. Thank you, sir. I now request our Director Business, Dr. Aditya Bavdekar, to felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Rahul Pagale. Thank you, sir. I now request our Director, Dr. Sachin Lele, to felicitate our keynote speaker of the day, Mr. Prasanna Deshpande. Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Meher Gupta to take over the task.
To give you a brief introduction about MIMA's journey and deliver a welcome note, I now call upon Dr. Pradeep Bavrekar, Group Director. With more than 4 decades of experience, Dr. Pradeep Bavrekar has assumed senior business leadership roles in various organizations and in various domains. Dr. Bavrekar is ex-MD for Mitcon Consulting and Engineering Services Limited, where he was instrumental in organizational development and played a key role in getting the organization listed on BSE and as well as NSE. He has successfully managed projects in different business verticals such as renewable energy, carbon credits, agro-processing and skill development initiatives. Dr. Bavrekar has served on various committees formed by the Government of India and the Government of Maharashtra pertaining to business policy and structural changes. In his current role as Group Director, Dr. Bavrekar spearheads all ventures under Youth Bill Foundation, which includes MIMA Institute of Management, MIS International School at Balewadi as well as Hinjewadi, and various activities of Youth Bill Foundation. Dr. Bavrekar holds a doctorate from Pune University and has completed his Masters in Management from InSearch Pune. He is a voracious reader and a progressive farmer. Now I request Dr. Pradeep Bavrekar to deliver the welcome address.
Honorable Chief Guest of the day, Shri Arun Raste, Chief Executive and MD of NCDX. Guest of Honor, Shri Rahul Bagare, CHRO of Force Motors, and keynote speaker, Mr. Prasanna Deshpande, Director of Chaitanya Group. When Mr. Raste, today's Chief Guest, entered my cabin, in fact, I was telling Dhanashri, my colleague, that probably I have some connect with Mr. Raste. And when he came in, we referred to the memories of some 30 years back when Sir was working in NABARD and I was working on a project sponsored by NABARD known as Maharashtra Rural Credit Project in microfinance, where we traveled more than 11 districts of the state in the interiors, more than 100 villages. Why I am telling you this? Because life is a journey of various events, ups and downs, and you meet people in your journey who sometimes meet again and help you to revise what happened a couple of decades back. Meeting Mr. Raste was a pleasant experience for me. MIMA Institute of Management, where you are sitting today in this elegant hall, in this elegant infrastructure, friends, was my dream, which I had seen in 1998, when Mr. Raste and myself were pretty young. This land I had purchased in 2004, and the first building I constructed sometimes in 2006 partly, and then later on in 2011. This brand new building where you are sitting was commissioned during the pandemic, was completed in December 2021, where the cost of construction got escalated by more than 30%. And then, in spite of all those challenges of pandemic, I could bring this trust, the business activities of the trust, back to normal only because of sheer determination. What I have learned in my 45 years plus career is that always grit and determination takes you across the journey and helps you to meet the targets. That's the reason even today also at the age of 69, I am going, I attend the office daily, I have spent at least 8 hours on the campus, deliver some lectures, and interact with faculty and students. So never give up, never say never die was a James Bond film during my college days. I have been always repeating the story of the life of Amitabh Bachchan. Mr. Bachchan's father, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, was member of Rajya Sabha, and the family was staying in the posh bungalows of Udaan in Delhi. His father was a morning walker, and both Amitabh Bachchan and Ajitaf were late risers. They used to get out of bed very late by the time the father had completed his morning walk. The father had a habit of picking up branches of trees and some stones on way and dumping them in the veranda of the bungalow and making various shapes out of it. One day the father called both the sons out and requested them to help him in shifting one large stone in the compound of the bungalow. So Amitabh asked him, "We'll do that, we'll help you, father, but tell me, how did you bring this stone here to this gate?" Father said, "Every day I pushed it a bit. And that is how from a far off distance I have marched and brought the stone to this level." The meaning of the story is that every day a bit, you have to push yourself towards the target. I will not dwell much on the career of Mima because already my colleagues have briefed you about the bright history of this organization, which is almost 20 years old. Its alumni have made its name bright, its faculty have contributed for its growth, and it has a very bright future in the time to come with the integrated infrastructure. Let me tell you that charati charuto bhava, जो चलता है उसके साथ उसका भाग्य चलता है. So never stop, never be complacent. Till you achieve your destination, you have to keep on marching. And these two last liners which I need to tell you, हार नहीं मानूंगा, राह नहीं ठानूंगा, काल के कपाल पर लिखता मिटाता हूँ, गीत नया गाता हूँ. So every day I'll be singing my song in spite of all the odds. Thank you.
रोटेट केल्यावर पण ते नाही होते.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now it's time to introduce our keynote speaker of the day. I would request Professor Neha Inamdar for the same.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Good to see that good afternoon once again. Thank you. Today we are honored to have with us Mr. Prasanna Deshpande. Mr. Deshpande is a highly respected professional with a wealth of experience in Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture as a co-chair, Infrastructure and Urban Development Council. He is a director of Tangent Healthcare Solutions Private Limited. He is an advisor at Government of Maharashtra, and from past 13 years, he is leading a director's position at Chaitanya Group of Industries. Mr. Deshpande is a highly qualified technocrat with scientific acumen and entrepreneurship mindset, and he is a skilled professional in pharmaceutical industry as well. So, without much ado, I would like to call upon Mr. Deshpande to deliver his address. Thank you.
Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Pavrekar sir for inviting me over as a keynote speaker. I somehow was never able to attend my graduation ceremonies, both at graduation level and at post-graduation level. So, attending these ceremonies is usually kind of an experience for me because I always think what it could have been if I had attended the ceremony myself. To start with a small story, all of you must have Instagram on your phone. You must be using it every day, preparing reels, watching reels. So I just came across one reel one day. Two people were traveling on a plane in business class, sitting on two different seats. So a poor woman looking like a beggar or dressed like a beggar, enters the business class of the plane. She tries and sits next to the person who was dressed in a very, Italian cut suit and, very well groomed. So she tries and sits next to him. The person immediately gets distracted and he gets, disturbed with the presence of that woman around her. He immediately calls the air hostess and tells that I don't want this woman to be sitting next to me. So the air hostess says, okay, the aircraft is full and I cannot accommodate her anywhere. Then the other woman who was traveling for the same interview, she rises and asks the person well dressed to sit in her place, and she readily accepts to sit in his place. So both the beggar looking like woman and the other woman, they start talking, and eventually the woman who was going for the interview ends up telling a story that how desperately she needs the job. The next day, both of them, they enter the interview room. The boss of the institution is ready with the questions, so he asks them a few questions and says, now I have a big surprise for you. So enters the beggar looking like woman, and the boss tells, okay, she was my chief recruiter who was dressed like a woman to assess your personalities, and obviously we all know who got selected. So the moral of the story is you have to be really grounded if you want to achieve something in your lives. Now we come to the real thing. So the businesses today are driven by three main things. First is sustainability, second is adaptability, and third is compliances, especially in the fields in which you are graduating today. And sir told me earlier that most of you have already been placed. So remember, my friends, adaptability is the key to the future. We have recently faced the pandemic, right? While we were trying to figure out how to lead our day-to-day lives, including using sanitizers, masks, and whatnot. But there were a group of people who were working hard in their labs to find out vaccines, to research on their vaccines. That means they were adaptable. They adapted to the situation. Their organizations helped them to adapt to those particular situations. Result is the COVID-19 vaccine, which we all have taken. So the crux of the story is adaptable people build adaptable organizations. And it is really true. So you have to be adaptable. You have to adapt to the situations. You have to perform in pressure situations. That is when you will succeed. Today, the other buzzword what we hear today is sustainability. With issues like environmental change, international relations getting disturbed. Sustainability is something every organization is looking at. When we say sustainability, I will give you a small example. We all know European Union, right? Is there anyone who does not know European Union? So European Union about 1.5 years back came up with a regulation called as the European Deforestation Regulation. How many of you know this? So this deforestation regulation is the step of the European Union